Have you ever wondered why we age? It's an enigma that has fascinated mankind since time immemorial. Aging, in essence, is a natural process that every living organism experiences. It's as constant as the changing of the seasons, as inevitable as the ebb and flow of the tides. Let's take a moment to delve into the nitty-gritty of cellular aging. At the heart of it all is something called cell division. You see, our bodies are made up of trillions of cells, and these cells constantly divide to replace old, worn-out cells. But there's a catch. Each time a cell divides, it's not a perfect copy. Tiny errors sneak in like typos in the genetic code. Enter the telomeres. Telomeres are like the plastic tips on the ends of shoelaces, preventing them from fraying. In the case of our cells, telomeres protect our DNA during cell division. But with each division, these telomeres get a little shorter. Over time, they become so short that they can no longer protect the DNA, leading to errors and damage. This, my friends, is the root of aging. Think of aging like a ticking clock. Every tick, every tock brings us closer to the inevitable. The gears of this clock are our cells, constantly dividing, constantly aging. And just as the hands of a clock can't be stopped, neither can the biological process of aging. Until now, we've accepted aging as an unalterable fact of life. It's a process shaped by the forces of evolution, deeply woven into the fabric of our existence. It's a testament to our journey, a record of our experiences, a badge of our resilience. So aging is a process that is as natural as life itself. But what if we could slow it down or even stop it? Stay tuned as we explore the fascinating world of anti-aging science in our next segment. To understand if we can stop aging, we first need to understand what happens when we age. So, let's dive into the fascinating world of the biology of aging. Aging, my friends, is a complex process that involves every single cell in our body. We often think of it as wrinkles, gray hair, or aching joints, but it's much more than that. At the cellular level, aging is about the gradual decrease in the ability of our cells to divide and repair themselves. Imagine our cells as a bustling city. Over time, the infrastructure of this city starts to wear down. The roads become potholed, the bridges start to crumble, and the city services become less efficient. This is what happens to our cells. They become less capable of maintaining their structure and function. And this leads to the physical signs of aging we all recognize. Now, why does this happen? One of the key culprits is DNA damage. Our DNA is the blueprint for all the proteins in our bodies. But over time, this blueprint can get damaged, leading to errors in the proteins our cells produce. These errors can accumulate, causing our cells to function less efficiently and eventually leading to aging. Another major player in the aging process is oxidative stress. This is a fancy term for an imbalance between free radicals, which are harmful molecules, and antioxidants, which neutralize them. When our bodies have more free radicals than antioxidants, our cells can become damaged, accelerating the aging process. So we've got DNA damage and oxidative stress, both contributing to the gradual decline of our cellular functions. It's like a 1-2 punch that our cells struggle to recover from. This is the science of aging, a complex process that affects every cell in our body. But could science help us to stop it? Science has made incredible strides in understanding aging, but can it help us to stop it? Over the past few decades, the realm of science has been diligently unearthing the mysteries of aging. We've come to understand that aging is not just about the passing of time, but rather a complex interplay of numerous biological factors. And with this newfound knowledge, the scientific community has been exploring potential ways to slow down, halt, or even reverse this process. One promising area of research lies in gene therapy. Scientists believe that by altering or replacing certain genes within our cells, they could potentially slow down the aging process. Think of it like fixing a glitch in our biological software. Gene therapy has shown promise in animal models, but its application in humans is still in the exploratory stages. Then there's the fascinating world of stem cells. These are the body's master cells, capable of regenerating into nearly any cell type. As we age, our stem cells lose their potency, leading to a gradual decline in our body's ability to repair and rejuvenate itself. Researchers are looking at ways to harness the power of stem cells to reverse this decline and effectively turn back the biological clock. There are other potential treatments on the horizon too, like the use of drugs to clear out old, dysfunctional cells, or the manipulation of molecules that affect the aging process. But it's important to remember that while these treatments show promise, they are still in the experimental stages. The science of anti-aging is a field filled with potential, but it's also one fraught with uncertainty. And it's not just about finding a magic bullet that will halt aging in its tracks. It's about understanding the intricate dance between our genes, our cells, and our environment, and figuring out how we can influence this dance to promote health and longevity. So, while science may not be able to stop aging yet, it's certainly trying. But should we even try to stop aging? If science could stop aging, should we do it? This is a question that stirs a lot of debate. Imagine a world where aging is no longer a fact of life, where the wrinkles, the aches, the fading memories are all things of the past. Sounds like a dream, right? But with advancements in anti-aging science, this could potentially become our reality. Yet with such power comes a myriad of ethical implications that we need to consider. Firstly, let's consider the societal impacts. If people stopped aging, we would likely face issues of overpopulation. Our planet already struggles to sustain the nearly 8 billion people living today. If birth rates remained the same and death rates dropped drastically, we would need to find ways to accommodate an ever-growing population. Then there's the issue of inequality. If anti-aging treatments are expensive, which is likely, they could become another luxury for the rich, widening the gap between the haves and the have-nots. Imagine society split between those who can afford to stay young and those who can't. This could lead to unprecedented social tensions and inequalities. But it's not just about societal implications. There are philosophical questions at play too. What does it mean to be human if we no longer age? Part of the human experience is growing, changing, and yes, aging. If we remove this aspect, are we still truly human? And what about the value of life? If we live indefinitely, does life lose its urgency, its preciousness? There's a certain beauty in the transient nature of life, a beauty that could be lost if we cease to age. The prospect of a finite lifespan encourages us to make the most of each day, to live fully and passionately. If we remove this deadline, how would our perception of life change? So whether we should stop aging is not just a scientific question, but also a deeply philosophical one. So, why do we age? And should we end aging forever? To recap our journey through the winding roads of this complex subject, we started by understanding the inevitability of aging. We looked at the natural process that all living beings go through, growing old. As the clock ticks, cells wear out, DNA repairs become less efficient, and eventually, organisms show signs of age. Next, we delved into the biology of aging, where we saw how our bodies are like machines. Over time, parts wear down, and the body's ability to repair and replace these parts diminishes. We also saw how genetic mutations accumulate over time, contributing to the aging process. Then we ventured into the exciting realm of anti-aging science. Researchers are exploring various strategies to slow down or even reverse aging. From genetic manipulation to stem cell therapies and drugs that target aging at a cellular level, the possibilities seem endless. Yet we must remember that these are early days, and we're just beginning to scratch the surface. We also pondered the ethical and philosophical questions that arise when we talk about ending aging. What would it mean for society if people could live indefinitely? How would it affect our perception of life and death, our relationships, and our ambitions? These are profound questions with no easy answers. So, back to our original questions. Why do we age, and should we end aging forever? The science tells us that aging is a complex process, driven by an interplay of genetic, environmental, and lifestyle factors. As for whether we should end aging, well, that's up to each of us to decide. The quest to understand and potentially control aging is a thrilling scientific adventure. Whether we choose to embrace aging as a natural part of life or seek to slow it down, the journey promises to be an enlightening one. Whether we should stop aging is a question that each of us must answer for ourselves. But one thing is for sure, the science of aging is a fascinating field that is sure to yield more insights in the years to come.